What's up, everybody? Good evening out there. Today is February 5th, 2021, and in this video we're going to discuss the numerical riddle behind the story of Kevin Durant getting pulled from his game against the Toronto Raptors earlier tonight. This was a very bizarre story, unlike one we've seen yet, really, where, we saw this with Justin Turner in the World Series, where he was diagnosed COVID positive and was pulled mid-game. Well, now Durant wasn't tested positive, but someone he interacted with earlier in the day had an inconclusive test result. Now, that was okay at first, and they benched Kevin Durant to start the game, but midway through the game they decided, you know what, it's fine. It's probably fine. So he goes out there and exchanges sweat and breath with a whole bunch of other players, and then they come back and said, oh, wait a minute, that other guy tested positive, so now you got to come out of the game. And, the level to which these events are getting a little obsessive-compulsive is a bit much, and that's coming from somebody who had OCD pretty bad growing up. Shout out to everybody in the chat who's jumping in on this special late-night stream. Not usually active at this hour, but thought this was an interesting one, so wanted to jump into the numerology. All right, so we're going to talk about COVID-19 protocols, the numerology involved with it, and contact tracing, which is essentially the main riddle behind this story. Kevin's game was against Toronto tonight. Notice how Toronto has this 470 Gematria. Now, this game was being played exactly 47 weeks after the coronavirus was declared a pandemic, or I should say a national emergency, more specifically here in the United States. Notice how this date had numerology of 56 and was the 13th of March. The word coronavirus sums to 56 in reduction and is 1303 in Jewish Gematria. 47 weeks is also 329 days, and today, February 5th, happens to leave 329 days in the year. So a pair of alignments, but the 47 stands out. Again, Toronto, 470 in Gematria. The word protocol is also 47. Kevin Durant was born on September 29th, meaning that this game was played 4 months and 7 days after his birthday. Using the standard 26-letter alphabetic order, the word trace sums to 47 in Gematria. Now, in the reverse alphabetic order, trace equals 88. And that number stands out for Durant, who was born in the year 88. And also notice how the number 88 pops up twice in his age. Not only is he 1,688 weeks old, he's also 388 months old. 88, the value of COVID-19 protocols. Notice contact tracing with an 888 in Sumerian Gematria. And of course, the name Kevin, not that far off from COVID. Maybe a stretch. What's not a stretch, however, is his opponent for this game against the Toronto Raptors. Now remember, the Raptors were the last team to win prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, or scaredemic, scamdemic, whatever you want to call it. Now, Toronto Raptors has this value of 224 in the alphabetic order. This is the Jewish Gematria of the word corona. 224. The game was played on the 36th day of the year. In reduction Gematria, notice how Toronto equals 36 and 36. So does the word tracing, which also has matching 117 and 72 with Toronto. Kevin Durant's full name is Kevin Wayne Durant, which also equals 72, syncing up with Toronto and tracing. Also, in the alphabetic order, COVID-19. summing to 72. Also the 47, which I missed to open up the numerology. Now, if you include the end date, Durant is a span of 4 months, 8 days after his birthday. This coincides with today's primary numerology of 48. The 48th prime number is 223. The game was played in Brooklyn, New York, giving us a 223 in the alphabetic order. I'm actually curious to look at their records, too, to see if that plays into this riddle at all. Before we get to that, I want to point out again Kevin Durant, his name Gematria, in the 2 large number ciphers that I teach here on this channel. First of all, I noticed how Kevin Durant was 129 days after his birthday. Now, the number 129 does show up in his English Gematria. But this number is connected to his Jewish Gematria. Check out how this is the 189th prime number. 189, kind of like his Jewish Gematria of 1189. Now, Kevin Durant, his name and birthday are actually quite biblical. So I pointed out his name in Jewish Gematria is 1189. That's the number of chapters in the King James Bible. Now, in the King James Bible, 929 of those chapters are in the Old Testament. And Kevin Durant's birthday is September 29th, which can be written 929. That birth date can also be written 29-9 internationally. I thought it was funny that Trace gives us 299. He's part of this big contact tracing riddle. But to cap this off, I want to talk about the Eclipse riddle that's in play here, and is really a part of the vast majority of these stories having to do with the coronavirus. Remember, the sun's corona normally only visible during a total solar eclipse. So this virus, essentially named after this astrological event. On the right side of your screen, we have the 2 nearest total solar eclipses. One occurred just a couple of months ago on December 14th. And the next one will be on December 4th in 2021. First things first, measuring from the last eclipse, we get 7 weeks and 4 days. This is also 53 days. COVID is 53 in ordinal. But the 7 weeks and 4 days stands out, as this is a significant number to the crucifixion code. Of course, the name Jesus sums to 74 in ordinal. And in the New Testament, 3 of the 4 Gospels discuss crucifixion darkness, a period of which darkness falls over the sky during the crucifixion, which should have been impossible during the daytime, as this occurred during Passover. But the allegory remains the same, the death of the Son of God on the cross. So this 7 weeks and 4 days is significant. Jesus 74, killing 74, which occurred on the cross. He was the Messiah, and again the darkness is recounted in the gospel. Now the name Kevin also sums to 74 using the reverse alphabetic order, matching with the 61 as well. Now, something interesting happens when we look at Kevin Durant's age on the date of this game. This is really wild. Notice how he's 11,818 days old? This is a big part of this. This game was between the Brooklyn Nets and Toronto Raptors, which in Jewish Gematria sums to 1818, and I assure you this is no coincidence. 1818 is a number we find in the Sumerian Gematria of crucifixion of Jesus Christ. In Jewish Gematria, crucifixion of Jesus Christ matches tracing through the number 24. But this riddle solidifies itself when we measure to the next total solar eclipse. See how it's a span of 303 days. Again, this next one occurring on December 4th. 303 is the ordinal value of crucifixion of Jesus Christ. So this, the Sumerian value, and the Jewish value, all coded into this little riddle here today. And of course, Corona has the 33 as well. So again, I know it's late. Not a whole lot of people in the chat. Appropriately, 47 in there. A nice little number. Yeah, I mean, as far as the purpose of sports, again, you got it. It's going to be bread and circus to distract the masses, give people something to talk about. But I think you're really seeing this play out with the coronavirus agenda, as we've seen for the past, 11 months now, is that these actors, athletes, celebrities, they're being used as pawns to push this agenda forward, whether wittingly or not. Kevin Durant may have no idea about the numerology of this story, and I would get a kick of someone sharing it with him to show how they're being used. Of course, someone who makes that much money is probably in the know, so I wouldn't doubt he's just playing along with the script. But it was funny to see his tweet saying, "Free me." I mean, these guys are really being treated pretty hilariously. Special shout out to Alex, Simple Truth. Simple Truth and I will be dueling in the Super Bowl this weekend, I think. And he put his pick out. I'm leaning with the Bucks. I'm not making a pick as in, hey, I feel so great that you guys should put your money on it. As I explained in my last video, Vegas wins in the Super Bowl generally. But, hey, if you're looking to, if you got a few extra bucks to spend, maybe throw it down. I do like the Bucks riddle a little more. And we'll see if Brady goes 7-3. All right, everybody. I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. Thanks to everybody for popping in. Peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.